Today's video is a pointless exercise in GPU shaming, which is happening because MSI decided to relaunch the 7-year-old GT 730 in order to combat global GPU shortages. So I decided to see how well the GT 730 holds up these days by comparing it to Intel integrated graphics, which may not seem like a particularly intimidating competitor until you realize that it's the new Intel iGPU, the Xe graphics. Now, considering that MSI only announced this groundbreaking new GPU of theirs a couple of days ago, I don't have the exact version at hand. I only have this, I think it's an OEM Nvidia version of it. I don't quite know who makes this version of the GT 730, but it's got the same GPU in it as the new MSI one. However, quite embarrassingly, it does actually have a bit of a step up on the new MSI version, considering that it has a truly unprecedented 4 gigs of DDR3, as opposed to the measly 2 gigs of DDR3 on the MSI variant. And then in terms of the competitor, we've got the Intel UHD 750, which is the new flagship integrated GPU from Intel, and that is attached to a bit of a weird CPU, the Intel i9-11900K, which was very kindly sent over by NZXT along with their new N7Z590 motherboard. Now, this is quite an uncharacteristically high-end configuration considering the GPUs that we're comparing, but this way, there's a pretty good chance we won't have a CPU bottleneck for these two titans of the GPU industry. So with that, let's get a bit of a baseline performance reading from the UHD 750 to see what the GT 730 is up against. So we're running at 720p here, and it's already looking real bad for that new graphics card. Like, I don't know how it's gonna be able to compete with this. On an iGPU in an Intel CPU, this is pretty cray-cray. I mean, let's see if it can handle 1080p at low settings. Wow, this is much better than I was expecting. 1080p on admittedly an oldish game at this point, with some of the lowest settings, but yeah, this is not bad at all. Wow, that MSI graphics card is not gonna have a good time here. Oh. Off to a great start. That is significantly worse, and not only is the actual just frame rate much worse, but it's got that very specific GT 710 and I guess 730 issue where there's such massive input lag. With GTA 5 running at 720p lowest settings, this compares really well, I'd say, to the Xe graphics. Ooh, and as we can see, it's not looking very good here for MSI's new pride and joy. Although, with all of my experience using a GT 710, these GPUs do have one massive ace up their sleeve, which is huge overclockability. So maybe that will help close up the gap. Okay, so 855 megahertz seems to be stable, and we've actually got a couple more frames per second. I was about to say a considerably faster gaming experience, but no, it's not really helped much. Although, I mean, we're touching 30 frames per second every now and then, so that's not bad. I don't know, ooh, sorry lady. I don't know how clearly you can see the kind of grayishness of the monitor. I don't know, this graphics card feels like it's about to die. Like, it really feels like it's clinging on for dear life at this point. Okay, let's try with that. Get a bit of a memory overclock going and see how much that helps. Okay, let's do 100 megahertz memory overclock. I really like the 4% CPU utilization. No, it's not really helped at all, has it? Okay, let's try go even further. 800. It's worked! I wasn't worried. Oh, no, it hasn't. Oh, no, it has! Yay! That was a bit of a roller coaster of emotions, but it's up, it's going. And, I don't know. If anything, it feels like it's running worse. After finally dialing in an overclock, it's time to do some proper benchmarks so that we can more accurately compare these two GPUs. The problem was, no matter how many times I tried and no matter what the configuration of overclock, I couldn't get the GT 730 to finish a GTA 5 benchmark run for some reason. So I decided to move over to CSGO instead. Now, just to get the baselines out of the way again, here is what the Intel XE gets while playing CSGO, and this is what you get with the GT 730. That gap, it's not as big as I was expecting, so hopefully the overclock will close in the gap between these two powerful GPUs. And after dialing in the max overclock possible on my GT 730, I got a core frequency of 890 MHz and a blistering 833 MHz on the memory, which led to this result, which is actually not that bad. They're pretty close to each. Oh wait, I just realized, oh no, I'm comparing 1080p to 720p here.